From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the morning news for April 9th, 2025. The United States will impose a 104% tariff on China beginning at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Wednesday, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt said in a briefing on Tuesday. Starting tomorrow, the White House will begin collecting steep levies on imported goods from China as President Trump follows through on a threat issued against Beijing on Truth Social Monday. Mr. Trump on Monday threatened to slap an additional 50% tariff on imports from China after the nation said it would impose a 34% import fee on American products. China's retaliatory move came after Mr. Trump said China would face a 34% tariff on all goods imported to the United States, a rate tailored specifically to China. Mr. Trump also said in his Truth Social post that the U.S. would cease all negotiations with China while proceeding with trade talks with other nations. Meanwhile, China's Commerce Ministry on Tuesday asserted that Beijing would fight to the end and take countermeasures against the United States if Mr. Trump did not walk back his latest threat. In the press briefing Tuesday, Leavitt said retaliatory tariffs on roughly 90 countries were designed to open negotiations with U.S. trade partners. To countries around the world, bring us your best offers and he will listen, Leavitt said of Mr. Trump. Deals will only be made if they benefit American workers. She added that 70 nations have already approached the White House to begin negotiations and presumably lower their assigned tariff rates in exchange for concessions that Mr. Trump deems beneficial to the United States. On the other hand, countries like China, who have chosen to retaliate and try to double down on their mistreatment of American workers, are making a mistake, Leavitt said. USA Today is reporting that U.S. stocks closed another volatile day lower, with the blue chip Dow erasing more than 1,400-point early gain to end down over 300 points after the White House dashed hopes for a less aggressive tariff plan. U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer said President Donald Trump won't provide exemptions to his new global tariffs for individual products or companies. That was followed by the White House confirmation that 104% tariffs on China will go into effect at midnight. Planned higher reciprocal tariff rates for other specific countries on top of the 10% baseline duty implemented on Saturday will also kick in at midnight. The Dow dropped 0.84% or 320 points to 37,645. The broad S&P 500 slid 1.57% or down 79.47 points to close at 4982. And the tech-heavy NASDAQ slumped 2.15% or down 335.35 points to 15,267.91. The benchmark 10-year Treasury yield rose to 4.281%. And now this news from Norfolk Island, about 1,000 miles northeast of Sydney, Australia. Jesse Schiller and Rachel Evans are likely the only business owners on Australia's Norfolk Island to be directly impacted by the Trump administration's tariffs, as the South Pacific outpost they call home exports nothing to the United States. Abso-freaking-lutely nothing. The Canadian couple, both aged 41, own a business that makes plastic-free hair accessories under the brand Kushu. Vancouver-born Schiller said he and his Norfolk Island-born wife are likely the only business owners on the island that will pay elevated tariffs, and they will pay at the rates imposed on Japan and India, where the goods are manufactured. Around 80% of Kushu's business is with the United States. Kushu means feeling good in the English Tahitian Creole known as Norfolk, that's spoken among this remote population of 2,000 people, again, approximately 1,000 miles northeast of Sydney, Australia. While Australia and its external territories were assigned the global minimum 10% tariff, including the completely uninhabited Heard and McDonald Islands in the Antarctic region, where only penguins and seals reside, Norfolk Island was singled out for a 29% tariff. I think Norfolk became a parable of sorts for the lack of nuance with which these tariffs went out in the world, Schiller said. Schiller and Evans, a Canadian-Australian dual national, have the consolation of being dealt slightly lower tariffs. Japan has been assigned a 24% tariff and India 26%. Why Norfolk Island came in for such severe and apparently futile tariff treatment has been a popular topic of conversation among locals. It's been a question of great intrigue locally, Schiller said. An early theory, and it seems to be proving right, is that there are other notable Norfolks in the world. Norfolk, of course, in the UK, Norfolk in Virginia in the United States, and it seems as though some improperly labeled customs paperwork may have contributed to the error, Schiller said. That could have been very easily fact-checked, he added. His wife, Evans, has an impressive Norfolk Islander lineage. She is a ninth-generation descendant of a crew member of the British naval ship HMS Bounty, who mutinied in 1789, although her mother is Canadian. The mutineers, whose exploits have been dramatized in Hollywood movies, established a settlement on Pitcairn Islands, and their descendants later settled the former British penal colony of Norfolk Island. She said the sustainable lifestyle she has learned from growing up on such an isolated island, approximately 15 square miles, has been part of the brand since they started their business in Vancouver 15 years ago. She was confident their business would survive the latest trade barriers. Definitely for the short time, we'll figure out a way to bridge this, she said. And that is the news at this hour. Be sure to download the Live 365 app to take PEP Radio with you wherever you go. If you're watching our videos on YouTube, be sure to click the subscribe button. So let's get back to some more music now here on PEP Radio.